Hey everybody, this is Grace, and in this video I want to talk about something. I wasn't actually thinking about it in this sense of self-care, but it is what it really is when it comes down to it. Now, I'm not giving anybody any kind of advice, counseling, nothing like that. I'm not suggesting to you that this is the way you should do it. I'm just talking about my own experience in my own home and all that. What I think is going to be best for me, and Adam thinks is the best for him, along this line. We could be wrong. Anyway, it's about, taking care of yourself and doing things that aren't going to harm or hurt somebody else, but it's to help yourself. Now, I'm not saying to be narcissistic, that it's always about you and it's always you're got to be center, or nothing like that. What I'm talking about is when something is just too much, that you've been through too much or whatever, and you say, okay, I need to stop. Like if somebody who's been through narcissistic abuse and they're still in that somehow maybe they've gone no contact, but they're still dealing with it, and to stop and take care of themselves, to stop and think, what do I need to do to heal from this? What do I need to do to just go on with my life, or whatever it is? Now, like I'm saying, one size doesn't fit all in any of this stuff. If anybody tries to tell you, here's step 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's all going to work out fine, I don't think so. But yeah, people are different. Every person's different. Every situation is different. How people heal is not always the same. Like some people journal, then that's supposed to help them, but for some people that doesn't help them. It just keeps them stirred up. For some people, I sometimes wonder, if it's, I'll do mine like in videos these days more, that if it just keeps me calm, but I'm not resolving the issue sometimes, not always, but the calmness is good, but if it just makes me, move on, maybe not. Anyway, why is on my mind? Well, besides that, I found that I had a note that said self-care just when I was out, since I've been out here. But before, I had been thinking, and last night I said it to Adam, and he was like, "What's wrong with you?" It was kind of like going into lecture mode, not lecturing him, more like a professor would, and it was, about how these, like watching the news. This is November 2020. Watching the news has become, it's been this way for a long while, we know, but it's worsened. Everything is breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. And all that, I've done a video about all that high drama and just keeping people drawn in, like I was telling him last night, I said what they'll, not all of them, they don't all do this, but before a gazillion commercials break, they'll say, we have so-and-so coming up after this commercial break, or whatever, however they put it. So they keep you hanging, or when they, sometimes like at a different time, they'll come back and say, breaking news, they're going to make something huge out of breaking news. Now, I'm not the only person on this planet that's ever said that. I know it and never felt it. I know that. But it's just too much. There's always keeping that stirred up. Okay, and that can be very stressful to people. Especially like people who are, to me, I could be wrong, I would think that it would be especially for people who are older, who are working from home. They don't have to be older to work from home. And, they have more of a chance to listen to the news. And they want to find out, and they get drawn in, they're sucked in. And when I was telling him, I was using my hands like some kind of machine, how they pull you back in. Just when you say, okay, that's enough, I've heard that before, I don't need to hear it every hour by somebody else. There's something else will come, breaking news. And it's never straight, not never, but it's seldom ever straight from the horse's mouth. It's going to, or they're going to, like I've said in that video, they're going to take it and they'll just pull a little bit out of it. Okay, and then they'll say how they see it. Okay, and as I said in that video, it isn't just one channel. It isn't just two channels. It's just one side or the other side. No, and it's not just two sides anyway. But it's like many of them. To hear some really good, decent reporting would be great, and let us hear what the actual person says. Straight from the horse's mouth, so we can make up our own minds. Okay. We don't need to, people telling us how to think. I don't. I'm an independent. I don't even like saying I'm an independent because it sounds like just another party. I'm not a party person. I'm not a joiner. I look at things the way I want to see it straight from the horse's mouth, and I look at it and I say, how do I feel about this? What do I think about this? How do I see what's going on? And then not to have somebody say, well, this is how it is, or some of them say this crap about, well, we're still monitoring that, but we'll let y'all know, and we'll let you know how, we'll go back in if something good comes up. Who are you to make that choice for me? Seriously. Now, why this was connected was because last night I told Adam, I'm sick of it. I have been sick of it for a long while. And I used to not be one to watch the news. I was political in different ways, but not to watch the news like this. And I told him I had been in his world for 5 years because he loves it. When he was with me on this, but I was really, really upset. I said, that's it. They try to get people addicted. Not all of them, of course. Just to make it brief, I'll say they. They try to draw people in and find different ways to do it so that you can watch all the commercials and they can make more money. There needs to be some responsibility here. You're stressing people out. Well, it's up to the people. They shouldn't be watching all the time. But they do things that draw you in. Maybe not you. Like I said, that's just a form. That's just how I say it's you when I don't mean you. But anyway, and it can consume time. Like I was saying, people who are working from home, they have more, or homemakers, male, female, whatever, stay-at-home moms or dads, whatever it is, they're there. They can have the TV on more. They hear it, and just getting sucked into that more and more and more. And that's how I was feeling, and he was saying, yeah, he's seen it, he's known it about himself too, but he never really talks about it. But it's just too much, and it's like a lack. The self-care in that would be to walk away. Say, I only need to see highlights every blue moon of what's going on. I don't need to be drawn into these dramas. Yeah, I don't need that. I can just, like I decided, I'm gonna go and I'll look them up on YouTube. How the YouTube has a little bitty clips of certain things that they've said on whatever news channel. Like there was one about what Dr. Fauci said. It was a few minutes long. Okay, I will watch something like that, but to actually sit there and watch them with all their commercials and all their, this person's opinion, that person's opinion. Now, if a person is a scholar on a topic, yeah, on that particular topic, but they always have the same people, commentators, it's just too much. And you seldom ever actually get to see, or they make it so short, so brief, what the actual person that they're talking about had said. I already said that. Anyway, this note I had, I have no idea when I wrote it. It was probably, I have a whole bunch of them. I always have had, years I've had. I would get a thought in my mind and put it on a notepad, and say I would make a video about it, and then I wouldn't, and I have such a collection of them. It's unbelievable. But this is what I was saying, taking care of yourself, self-care. And I wrote projects. I don't know what that was about. And then I wrote thinking too much about them, which I believe, like I wrote underneath it, was narky ones. The narcissistic people is spending too much of the time Yeah, I'll say your, and I don't mean you, but your time thinking about what they're thinking, what they're doing, what they're there, and they've trained you to think about them in some sense. Or they do such weird, crazy things. They don't all do the same. To get this to where your attention is always on them. But what about you? You know, but and I wrote that they ensure it will be on them. Yeah, the focus will be on them. And I've known people like this. I call them a narcissistic histrionic blend. And they will make sure, somehow ensure, that the attention is going to be on them, and you're not doing whatever you need to do for yourself. You know, for your future, for your life, for your whatever. You're focusing on them. Okay. Let's see. What else? And I also wrote, well, I guess it was about projects, I thought that. It was about having your own things. And I also wrote about, what about your faults? You know, we concentrate on them. We might concentrate on them being so over the board, you know, just so way out there doing things to get attention on them, and, you know, how their faults are this or that, and what they're doing wrong, what they're doing to cause a problem, what they're doing to, you know, that hurts you, that causes you problems. But when do we ever think about what we do that might be doing it to other people? And that people call them narcissistic fleas. I don't know where that came from, originated, but just bad behaviors you pick up from a narcissistic person, or, you know, somebody toxic somehow, dysfunctional somehow. Like if you grew up in a dysfunctional family, and you learn behaviors from, you know, this dysfunctional family, and you grew up not knowing that this was wrong. Maybe, you know, back, you know, more and more these days, there's more and more information out there, so, you know, more and more TV shows will talk about it, so it's not as much as it was before, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, let's see, I also mentioned work to improve yourself. Yeah, you know, we're not perfect and they're all wrong. I mean, they have things about them that are good too. You know, they do have some good, and some people say, oh, they're all totally bad. Are they really? Or are you just being a little bit histrionic there? Joking. But no, I don't think anybody is, it would be very, very rare, I think, to say that any person is just totally bad. Okay, but that's not a good enough reason to stay with them, because they have one little thing they're good at. Yeah. Anyway. And, you know, I wrote this, work to improve yourself, and what are your own interests? Yeah. Like I said, I'm not as I'm talking about, well, really, you know, what I was thinking, how I was thinking, writing it down for myself. You know, what are my own interests? What are, you know, and you can put it in this. What are my own interests outside of watching the news? It became too much like a soap opera, seriously. Like tuning in, and you could tune in any time of the day or night and see these soap operas and catch up on what so-and-so was doing and how they were seeing things and stuff like that. No. Anyway, this is my second video. I've been sitting out here making videos. This is my second one. But it was good to be out of the house. But I also wanted to do this. Hopefully I'll remember. I should write it on a note. A notepad. But do it about infantilization and how things like newscasters, what do you call them these days? There's so many, in my life they've gone through so many names. But how some of them will infantilize a person, treat them like a child, treat them like children, treat their viewers like children. They're children. Like I just said this whole bit about, you know, that they're going to monitor what's going on, and they'll go back and let us see what they think is important. Kind of, basically, what it comes down to, they're not going to put it that way, but that's what they mean. They're going to monitor it for us. I don't want you monitoring it for me. I want to monitor it for me. I'm a grown woman. Anyway, that'll be a whole separate video if I do it. I'll talk to you on another video. Bye.